All right, let's just jump right in. We're living in a world that is just constantly screaming for our attention, right? But what if the smartest companies out there aren't the ones shouting the loudest? What if they're doing something else entirely? So today, we're going to break down a huge shift in the world of marketing, this move from selling at you to simply helping you.
I mean, let's be real for a second. Who isn't? You're just trying to browse online, maybe watch a video, and bam, you're hit with an ad for something you have zero interest in. It's just exhausting. Well, that feeling of being totally bombarded, that is the exact problem that this whole new way of thinking is trying to solve.
So here's the fundamental problem we're dealing with. There's just so much information out there, so much noise, that it has become incredibly difficult for any business to grab and, this is the important part, hold our attention.
You know, for decades, the answer to this was pretty simple. Just turn up the volume. We're talking more ads, bigger billboards, louder commercials. The whole strategy was basically to interrupt you enough times that eventually the message would have to stick. But in today's world, well, we've all just gotten really good at tuning it all out.
And this brings us to a really fantastic way of thinking about this whole thing: the megaphone versus the magnet. This is the core difference between two totally opposite marketing philosophies, and it's a brilliant little analogy for understanding the shift we're talking about.
And when you put them side by side, the difference is just night and day. On one side, you've got outbound marketing, that's the megaphone. It literally fights for your attention by interrupting whatever you're doing, pushing its message out whether you asked for it or not. But then on the other side, you have inbound marketing, the magnet. This approach works by earning your attention. Instead of interrupting, it attracts you. It pulls you in with helpful, relevant content right at the moment you're actually looking for a solution.
Okay, so this whole magnet approach, it sounds pretty good in theory, right? But where does it really shine? Well, it turns out it is a perfect match for one industry in particular, SaaS, which stands for Software as a Service.
So let's do a quick definition here. SaaS companies are basically businesses that provide software on a subscription basis. Think about the tools you might use every day, like Dropbox, or maybe specialized software for your job. The key thing to remember is these aren't simple products you can just explain in a 15-second ad.
And that right there brings us to reason number one why this is such a perfect match. SaaS products are often really complex, and they serve a pretty specific niche. They solve very particular problems. You can't just shout, "Hey, buy my advanced data analytics platform," at someone during a TV show. It doesn't work.
Second, the person who's looking for a SaaS product isn't just window shopping. No, they're actively trying to solve a problem. They are literally on a mission, searching for a solution. So, doesn't it make way more sense to be the helpful answer they find during their search, instead of being some annoying ad they see when they're not even looking?
And third, because these products are so complex, education is everything. A potential customer needs to really understand what the product does and why it's valuable to them. And inbound marketing, with its focus on helpful blog posts, guides, and videos, does exactly that. It educates the customer, which is so much more effective, not to mention cheaper, than a hard sales pitch.
Okay, so how do companies actually build this magnet we've been talking about? Well, it's not magic, not at all. It's a really clear step-by-step strategy. So let's pull back the curtain and look at the playbook.
The whole thing is really built on four main pillars. First up, you create a steady stream of genuinely helpful content that actually solves problems. Then you use SEO, that's search engine optimization, to make absolutely sure people find that awesome content when they search on Google. Third, you automate your communication, sending tailored messages to nurture that interest. And finally, you analyze all the data. You track the clicks, the views, the shares to see what's actually working, and then you just do more of it. See how each piece builds on the last?
So what happens when a company really commits to this strategy? We've talked about the theory, but now let's look at the actual tangible results, because this is where it all pays off, big time.
And the benefits are huge. By putting out helpful content, you build a brand that people actually trust and recognize. Because you're attracting people who are already interested in what you do, your conversion rates are naturally going to be way higher. And since that whole relationship is built on trust from the start, customers tend to stick around longer. And maybe the best part of all, it's so much more cost-effective than just blasting out expensive ads to a huge audience.
It really all comes down to this idea of making the process feel more organic. You're not trying to force a sale on someone. Instead, you're guiding a potential customer who's already on a journey, and you're just providing them with the map and the tools they need to get where they want to go.
All right, so as we wrap this up, let's zoom out to the big picture here. This isn't just about SaaS companies or some marketing buzzwords. This is about a fundamental change in how businesses are choosing to communicate with us.
And this is the thought I really want to leave you with. If the main goal shifts from interruption to attraction, from selling to helping, how does that change the way you see the brands and the marketing all around you? The next time a company offers you a genuinely helpful article or video instead of a sales pitch, you'll know exactly what they're doing and why it's so incredibly effective.